So how can we find inspiration from within? Before I start the topic off, show reel. Pranam, Namaste, my name is Garret. Before I start the topic off, please make sure you guys remember to hit like, subscribe and comment your learnings in the comment section below. I'm dedicated to make 4 videos a week to spread more light and positivity out there to the world. Okay, so it's also nice to know where you guys are tuning in from so we can connect in the space, yeah? So without further ado, let's jump into the topic. How can we find inspiration from within? Okay, so it is said that you should not count your life in the number of breaths that you breathe. Okay, instead, one person should actually learn to count the number of moments that took their breath away. Okay, because these were the moments that was exactly very fully inspiring for you. Okay, so inspiration itself is the fuel that energizes our life. Okay, so it actually empowers certain people to put in their best and become experts at whatever respective traits that they are in. Okay, doesn't matter which trait you are in. Okay, you will still be an expert if you are able to learn how to be inspired. Okay, and the lack of inspiration most often the time would transform geniuses into just ordinary people. So now you know that it is inspiration that is gonna push a person forward in their life. Okay, so inspiration is a very vital key ingredient. Okay, hence it is a vital ingredient for growth. If we are inspired, the biggest obstacle would seem very tiny, and what you might be thinking, what is this? It's nothing. Okay, if when a person is uninspired, a tiny difficulty might seem like an uphill battle, okay, and it might feel like an unsurmountable hurdle that that person may not want to cross. Okay, and when you don't want to cross, you will not even make it in life. You see, that is why there is a saying: you may lose everything in life, but your enthusiasm, if you have enthusiasm, you can gain it all back again. Okay, but that person, if he does not have enthusiasm left, he has lost his enthusiasm, now he is truly bankrupt, because without enthusiasm you will not even want to fight hard again to gain back what you've lost. Okay, so whether or not a material or a spiritual endeavor a person is actually going in towards, okay, in life, enthusiasm makes the difference between failure and success. So this is very important, okay, enthusiasm. So inspiration has been recognized as the ingredient of success for all fields. So this is irregardless, okay, so regardless of whatever traits that you're in, is it something that we are born with? No. Okay, this is definitely a no. Okay, we can change our inspiration. Sometimes circumstances are responsible for the outcome. Okay, there's a story I'm pretty sure some of you may or may not heard of before, but this story of a factory worker. He actually works from he most of the time would actually work evening shifts. Okay, and he lives only about an hour's walk from the factory, so he actually walks to the factory each day. His shift starts at 4 p.m. and ends at midnight 12. Okay, so each time he would walk towards work and walk back towards from the factory back to home, right? So when he's walking, right, he will always there's a shortcut that he could actually take, and this shortcut would be the graveyard. Okay, that shortcut is the graveyard, and if you were to go by that graveyard route, right, you would be able to cut short by 30 minutes. Okay, so one day he actually figured out that I should actually be taking the shortcut. So when he was finishing work, right, so 12 midnight, he was walking back, he decided to take the graveyard. Okay, and on the first try, he realized that it's nothing wrong. I should just continue taking this path because it's 30 minutes faster, and I'll just be passing by all the graveyard. That's all. Okay, and he did not meet anything that is scary or anything that was dangerous for him. Okay, so however, one day when he was walking, and that particular night was very dark, it was no moon and it was very cloudy. So he was walking along the shortcut and he accidentally fell into a newly dug grave that was actually built. That was along the path that he usually take. Okay, and he fell into this grave. Okay, and this grave was really deep. It was 7 feet tall. Okay, and he can't seem to get out of it. So he's decided that no matter how I climb, I can't seem to climb out of this graveyard. Okay, so he's decided maybe I should just stay for the night, and tomorrow somebody would actually get me out of this grave. Okay, so he decided that I should stay. So on that particular night itself, there was this drunkard. Okay, he was walking, and with his wisdom and his intellect destroyed from the alcohol, right, he accidentally fell into the same grave as well. Okay, and when he fell into the grave, he immediately became awake. Okay, and his senses started to come back. Okay, and when he came back, right, he's thinking he was thinking, oh my god, now I'm fallen myself into a grave. Okay, I should not want to see any spooky things or any spirits, especially in this grave. Okay, I don't want anything scary. And because of that fear, right, he wanted to climb out. Okay, so he kept trying to climb out, but he just can't seem to climb out of it as well. So when he was jumping and jumping, that factory worker was just standing at the corner looking at all this drama that he was doing, trying to get out. And he decided to call out to that man from behind, and he said that, hey dear fellow, and he tapped his shoulders. And when he tapped the drunkard's shoulder and said, dear fellow, you should not continue jumping because it's quite futile, it's 7 feet high. He told him to give up, and tomorrow there will be someone here to save us. And the moment he tapped that shoulders, right, the drunkard man, only in the state of fear, only noticed the hand on his shoulders. Okay, and he realized that because of this hand on the shoulders, the inspiration within him shot into his consciousness, and that's where he decided to keep jumping more, because he was worried of what would he see if he turns his head around, because he's afraid of ghosts, right? So he jumped, and with more might he leaped. With this inspiration, he leaped, and he managed to leap a few inches more until he reached the top of the grave, and he managed to climb out of the grave. Okay, so you see, inspiration can be changed from within based on this story. Okay, so now it's not that people don't have the ability to be inspired, but if you were to notice, a lot of factory managers, okay, they would say that factory workers are uninspired, but you should start to notice. Check with these factory workers, especially every Friday evening when they just end work. Check how inspired these people are. Okay, every Friday especially, yeah. So this is a quality that we can actually develop within ourselves. Okay, and how should we tap into this? So factors are analyzed, and that they can actually motivate and demotivate people. Okay, and these factors are, it was found that if the boss have been too harsh on their staff, it is demotivating. Okay, and if the boss has criticized, it is demotivating as well. Okay, but the same situation seems to be motivating for others. Okay, one man says, now I shall not give my best because my boss has reprimanded me and has been criticizing my work. Okay, the other would say, really? You've never seen my hard work in all this effort that I put in? I should show you more of my hard work so that my boss will have to accept that I'm good. Okay, so see the difference between these two persons. Okay, so what motivates and what demotivates, that you may be thinking. So in Toronto, there was a social scientist that interviewed two brothers. Okay, one of them was a drunkard and a derelict. Okay, he had liver problems from all the drinking, and he was a wife beater. Okay, and have repeatedly gone in and out of jail, prison. Okay, and his younger brother was a complete success story, very opposite from his older brother. And so the social scientist decided to interview the older brother first, okay, and ask, why are you in such a mess? Your younger brother is such a success story. So the older brother responded. He said, how else could I be? He said, my father was an alcoholic wife beater. I saw him make a mess with his life. Okay, I grew up in this kind of circumstances. How could I be any better? So the scientist thought, he has got a point. Okay, and then the scientist interviewed the younger brother. He said, how come you have got all the right stuff in your life? Your health is good, you don't have any form of vices in your life, you have a wonderful, harmonious family, you are well praised in your work. So what is your secret to success? The scientist asked. Okay, and the younger brother responded, how could I not do it like this? Okay, I saw my father make all these mistakes and there's no way I could repeat them anymore. That is the reason to my success. Okay, the scientist said he has got a point too. Okay, so now from these two persons, in the same environment, one is getting motivated and the other is getting demotivated. Okay, what is the secret to motivation then? Right? The point to understand is there are two kinds of motivation. The first is external motivation. The second is inner motivation. Okay, for external motivation, it means to be inspired by rewards from the external or from other people. Okay, take for instance, your boss said, work hard and I will give you your promotion. Okay, that is an external motivation. Now in that case, if let's say the key to your inspiration lies in the hands of others, if you are using external motivations. So say for instance, tomorrow he doesn't promote you even though you work hard, then you will become demotivated. However, if we are internally motivated, we can always tap into that source of irrespective of the external environment that we lived in. Okay, so as we grow and mature in life, this inner motivation is what we need to constantly reach out to. Okay, and inspiration don't have to always happen on the outside. Remember, this can all happen within us. Okay, so if you have an intense desire, then you will make a firm resolve. Remember this solution, and when you have a firm resolve, then you will put in immense effort, and that is how you will become what you put yourself into. Success, then you get success. Okay, but if your desire is weak, the resolve will be mild as well. Okay, and the effort will also be marginal. Okay, and that is how you will also become that marginal. Okay, so if we wish to lead an inspired life, remember this: we must learn to first develop our quality from our inner motivation. Okay, And how can we develop this, you may be thinking? Give yourself a strong reason, a strong why. Okay? When you have a strong reason of doing something, you automatically become motivated. And if you wish to, basically, take for instance, be inspired to follow a healthy diet, then in that instance, you learn how to convince yourself of the benefits of taking this healthy diet, and then convince yourself, for instance, convince yourself if you don't stick to it, what kind of harmful effects will happen to you if you don't stick to this regime. Same thing, if you are inspired to practice exercise and yoga every day, okay, then same thing, convince yourself of the benefits and convince yourself of the harm if you don't practice it on a daily basis. Okay, so you must always give yourself the reason behind the power of the word why. Okay, the reason of why, the why power, which is extremely powerful. Okay, so because this episode is pretty lengthy already, so I don't want to actually continue elaborating further. I will create another episode on the power of the why. Okay, so with that, I hope you learned something from this video, and if you do, please make sure you share your learnings in the comment section below. With that, I end off this video. Pranam, Namaste.